with Varsha Lade Foster.
And Megan Werner.
If you're joining us live, let us know you're here. Okay, I can't do the nose anymore.
Oh.
We're coming to you live from the studios of Freedom Dreamer Photography and Lane Foster Fine Art in historic downtown Rogers, which is my stomping grounds. I love it. You should come see us. If you missed part of today's show, don't worry, because you can find it later on Facebook. You can find it on YouTube. I'll share it. It'll be all over the place. And I bet Megan will share it too.
Yes.
So I want to thank my production crew, Earl Hale, who also happens to be my husband. He's pretty amazing. So if you want a show like this, just let me know. Send me a message, PM me, holler, stop by, whatever. And I'll get you hooked up with my production crew so that you can have your very own show like this. So I want to talk a little bit about why I started this show. It's important to me.
Yeah.
Other than tricking myself into getting comfortable in front of a camera. That's really the reason. You know?
I think we're both introverts.
Well, I'm not an introvert. No? I'm just a dorkavert.
Oh, okay.
So I invented a word. I love it when I do that. So I created this show because I have different subjects I'm really passionate about, and it's a list. So I always have to read the list. Things that I'm passionate about are women's empowerment. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Art, and art includes writers, musicians, visual artists, and filmmakers. I love all you people. And community. I'm big on community, especially my downtown Rogers community. Outdoors and conservation. I like to hike. I like to get on the water, and I want those things to be there for our kids to see. And spirituality. We may touch on that today.
Okay.
Personal development, financial freedom is a huge one for me, and health and fitness. So I'm pretty broad. I can't pick one thing, so I just picked everything that I like to make a show about. Awesome, right? So if you're joining us live, let us know that you're here. Oh, I see lots of people. I'm so glad you're here. Oh man, I just can't even call everybody out, but I'm so glad you're here. We're going to get started with today's guest.
That's me.
Yes, my friend, Megan Werner, LPCS, NCC, CHP.
Yes.
That's all your titles?
For now.
For now?
I'll add to it.
You're working on more?
Lifelong learner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So some of those, I'm a psychotherapist by trade. I have a specialization now in therapeutic humor. So I'm one of 2 people in the state to have that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nationally certified counselor and recent graduate of the Humor Academy. So that's the CHP, Certified Humor Professional.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So what's all this stuff you brought?
I brought some just little, things I use in the office, and then also with random people, businesses and things.
Use these things in your therapy?
Oh, of course.
You use poop in your therapy?
All the time.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me how this works.
It's different for everyone. It's different for, individual session versus couples or even a group session.
Yeah.
But I do like to play little pranks, especially if somebody's having a hard time kind of opening up or it's their first time to counseling, just to kind of let loose and share a laugh. And then usually we can kind of get right down to business.
Does it break the ice?
Definitely.
Okay.
And it also helps to cool things off at the end too. Like if we've had a really hard session talking about some traumas or difficult things, it helps at the end.
Yeah, I've been doing some coaching lately and there's been ugly crying involved.
Always ugly crying.
So how you're known as the brain trainer.
Yes.
How do you use this stuff to train brains?
So it's pretty interesting. A lot of people think that the funny stuff is just kind of fluffy and surface level, and it's, kind of like, oh, wasting my time, you're not serious. But there's a lot of neuroscience behind it. There's a lot of research. So one of the basic things I like to explain to people, when they come to therapy or to counseling, especially for the first time, is that, hey, we're going to work on training your most important organ and treat it like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. So.
Right.
It kind of starts there, and then we incorporate sometimes, with good judgment and timing and all that kind of thing, but some of the funny things for different, strategies. Depends on what we're trying to do. I don't know, I'm trying to give a nutshell version because it is very involved.
So do you actively counsel people with minion glasses?
Sometimes.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to take these off because we're going to talk about something that's a little more serious.
Okay.
So I had no idea that you were involved with Syrian relief efforts. Tell us about that.
Yes. So a couple of good friends of mine are heading up some of the major foundations and nonprofits that are involved in providing anything and everything. So humanitarian mainly, that started with the Syrian Emergency Task Force, and then from there they formed the Wisdom House. And then about 6 months ago, they approached me and said, "Hey, we really need help on the psychological front, providing stress relief and that kind of thing."
I can see how that would get overlooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, common.
Yeah. So I don't have enough food today, or I'm going to have some therapy.
Yeah.
How do you...
Well, and it's basic things too. I mean, if your physical needs are kind of taken care of, that's great and wonderful. However, there's a lot of people who suffer from severe symptoms, PTSD and other trauma symptoms, and can't sleep at night. Or for a lot of the kids, they have enuresis problems and caprices. So, it goes wide with the symptomology. But then even afterwards, so even after wars stop, and civilizations kind of come back together, you still have those symptoms because they weren't addressed.
How do you provide your services long distance?
So one of the things we're doing, we just started a Facebook page and a new campaign focused just on like the stress relief that I was talking about.
Okay.
It's called Build a Heart Campaign.
And that's on Facebook?
It's on Facebook.
So you can like that on Facebook and
Definitely.
see what's going on? Okay.
Like it, and most importantly, add to it. One of the things that we're doing is we're getting people to post things that they find relaxing, or whether it's a little breathing exercise or it's a funny joke, or even a skit, or just anything that brought a laugh or provided any kind of stress relief to them. So post it, share it, because there's a lot of people from Syria
That's what I was going to ask,
that are getting on and looking.
I actually read yesterday it was kind of an ebook that I got that nowadays people change careers or have a new inventive career 5 to 7 times in their lifetime.
Ooh, it's more than that.
Is it more than that?
Yeah.
So he wasn't hitting it quite high enough. So I know personally in my life I've been a banker. I've been a credit counselor. I've been a photographer. I've been a fine artist, and then I had all kinds of stuff even before that. I used to be a lunch lady, even.
Heck yeah.
I was a lunch lady. I was rocking that hairnet. So
I bet you did.
I really did. So how many times are people changing careers now?
So what we're seeing, especially for people get right out of college, that before they even turn 38, they're having anywhere from 10 to 14 different jobs.
And are these
And
things
job
that are
changes.
related or completely opposite from each other? Like, am I going to go from, a retail store manager to something creative, or from something very technical to something very creative?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. I think it was just kind of a generic statistic talking about just that job change and comparing it to, like I said, how jobs used to be, that
Right.
once you got done with school or trade school or college or something,
Right.
that you would go work for a company. So it's just that constant turnover, like I said, where people aren't happy and they don't really know what they want to do. And so they're constantly kind of moving back and forth and
Right.
all over the place.
That whole paradigm of you're born, you go to school, go to high school, you graduate, you go to college, you graduate, you get a good job, and you work 30 or 40 years until you retire. Right here. This is what that is. I do not subscribe to that. And I know there are people that is the best thing for them. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that's not for me. And I think more and more in our fast-paced society, people are identifying less with how it was.
Right.
And
Right.
I can't do it. I have to have
shift.
variety. It is this. What is this? Like this is a...
Oh, no, that's another turd. Yeah.
It looks like a chocolate chip cookie.
It does. I think it's supposed to be more like realistic because there are leaves in there. So this is probably
I
like
thought
a
that
dog,
was chocolate. Yeah.
like maybe a Shih Tzu that laid that one.
More poo.
Yeah.
So what do you want to tell us today? How do you want people to incorporate laughter into their lives to make it better?
Well, first it needs to be stressed that people do need to do this. Even like I said, little pranks, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I find, it's at the dollar store. Or, some people
Yeah, I'd hate to think
give
you
me,
paid more than $1 for any of it.
yeah, didn't. And like I said, some things I just kind of come across. I'm pretty resourceful and I recycle a lot too. But so some things I pick up from my kids and I, bring them to the office and find different ways to use them. So yeah, anything
How
from.
do these stick? Do they just stick?
Well, you take the little sticker off.
Oh, it has a sticker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I think I can do the show in this.
I think I could too.
I can't get the sticker off.
I mean, it's a good waxing form too.
It is.
Yeah.
So, can you?
Is it on right?
Yeah, it looks
It's not
great.
crooked. I usually put it on crooked.
Great. I like it that you can recycle those.
Well, not these specifically, but
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
right, but you can put the
have
sticky
somebody
back
else's
on it.
like
Right.
skin cells on
Right. So,
There you
I
go.
think we can do the rest of the show. So, how do I look?
Beautiful.
I like it.
Fluff it a little bit.
It's
kind
okay.
of
Yeah, yours is a little crooked, but that's okay. Maybe you
Oh.
just weren't good with the razor.
maybe not.
Okay,
Not
so
today.
let's talk a little bit more. Let's see. The Build a Heart campaigns with the Syrian Emergency Task Force. What is the Wisdom House Project?
The Wisdom House Project was one of their first big humanitarian efforts. So there's a lot of schools over there, universities and things that aren't functional because of the crisis that's going on. So there was an established school and a lot of people actually from Arkansas, from Conway, got together and said, we want to do more than just provide a one-time gift, like a monetary fund type thing. And so they wanted to give them something that was more sustaining and also to help them rebuild and live normal lives like they used to.
Right.
So they identified this school, and it's an orphanage as well, and they also have a women's center. So
Oh, I love that.
all of those things kind of linked in. So the Women's Center provides classes for mathematics and cosmetology and nursing programs and that kind of thing too.
really
So
love
very
that.
practical skills, and they provide anything from generators to school supplies to shoes, like whatever the
that.
kids need.
So let's bring it down to local. Say I'm a person and I'm just really not happy with my life. I really don't know what I want to do, or I have this overwhelming sense of maybe depression or just sadness, and I run up on you and I think I'm going to go and I'm going to have a session with Megan. Megan, the one of many titles. So I want to come and have a session with you. Let's expand that though.
Okay.
What does your days look like? Let's say you have a day where you're counseling people. What is your whole day like? And I want you to pull your personal life into this too. Like, who are you as a person?
Well, I could ask my husband that. He's here. Who am I as a person? Well, I don't know. I mean, my whole day, like my schedule. Like, what do I do?
Like you wake up in the morning,
Yeah, I wake up early. I go work out because that's my time. That's part of my brain training that I have to have. That physical exercise helps to get my day started. So I definitely start with that. And I also like to make jokes at my trainer too.
Oh, you have a trainer.
So we have, I see her a couple of times.
The brain trainer has a body trainer.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Absolutely.
I like it.
So,
It's tickling my
I
nose.
start and then come back and get the kids up. And usually my husband's helping a lot with that in the morning routine.
Go Jason.
Go Jason.
He's a good
Absolutely.
one.
He is. He's a good egg. So we get the kids off and then I head to the office. So depending on the day, some days are just devoted to seeing clients. And then some days like today are devoted to presentations and doing workshops for businesses or shows
and
with
being
you.
on live with me.
Yeah.
So what does a typical client look like for you? Or is there a typical client?
There's not.
So you just get all different kinds of people.
Yeah, a lot of people call or go to my website, or through Psychology Today. You can reach me at a bunch of different locations. But and then I get a lot of referrals too, especially for trauma type things. I've got a lot of experience working with certain types of trauma and things that are pretty difficult for therapists like myself. They're pretty difficult to handle. So I typically take some pretty tough cases. But then I also, people struggling with just parts of life.
Right.
Empty nest, kids are gone. What do I do? And
I don't know what to do with myself.
yeah, or career changes like you were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
So I have a quick question for our watchers. Can you take me seriously in this mustache? Can you? Okay, I'm done.
I could.
So I had a burning question on the tip of my lips before I went off on that. But
Yeah.
So you counsel in your office
Yes.
on Dixon Street.
Yes.
And tell us what your website is again.
It's trainthisbrain.org.
Okay, so if I want to schedule a session with you, I can go to trainthisbrain.org.
Yes.
And
at the bottom of every
Right.
page, there's a message thing that goes, to the email. So I can get it through there. There's also other contact information, or you can go to Psychology Today.
Because most people are going to do that.
A lot of people do, actually.
I need a therapist. Let's see, who do I? Psychology Today. I like her. I wanted to say I really like your website, though. It's very tropical.
Thanks.
And it makes me happy when I go on it and creep you out. This impedes my smile. So
It does?
I'm going to take it off. So it impedes my smile. Website, Facebook. Do you?
Yes.
Can we find you on Facebook? Can we like your page?
I don't actually have a page on Facebook. Not for my business,
Okay.
but I do for Syria
personal,
and that kind of
yeah.
thing. And then personal,
Yeah.
but not for finding me, to make an appointment.
All right.
So.
Is there anything else that's burning on your heart that you want to share with our watchers? I keep wanting to say readers.
Reader.
Yeah. Because
that's pretty common.
I'm a reader. I want to say
Me
readers.
too.
But no, our viewers.
Viewers.
Yes.
Good one.
Anything you want to say to our viewers?
Just a couple of little things about that day to day. I know we're all still talking and questioning, what happened last week with two major celebrities that, unfortunately passed due to suicide.
Right.
There's a lot of different places to get help, a lot of different, places to make appointments, or, at the very least, call, your police officers. They're there to serve, protect, and serve. Don't forget that.
I would never think of that.
Oh, yeah. I've used that many times, to do wellness checks and that kind of thing,
Okay.
especially if you're really worried about someone, a friend, or whomever.
Yeah.
So that's definitely an option. Or the ER, also another one, just at the very least. But watch what what you're taking in throughout the day. A lot of our news is very negative.
Yes.
And very hard to
Yes.
handle, and so when you wake up in the morning and you're watching the news, and then if you have a really stressful job, and then you come home and watch the news and you're reading the paper, you're
Not only that, Facebook.
you have all this, you have all this input of negativity. So watch what you do. Sometimes I record the Ellen DeGeneres show and watch
Just
it later.
I can see you watching Ellen.
Yeah,
we
I love Ellen.
should watch Ellen together.
We
That would be
should.
fun. I know frequently I have people who will tell me, I just can't even be on Facebook anymore. It's so negative. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
And I don't get that stuff on my Facebook because I have over a period of time, I have so meticulously
Set
crafted
boundaries.
my message on Facebook, not my message going out, not only my message going out, but my message coming in. So if you're my Facebook friend, and I have a bunch, almost 5,000, but if you're my Facebook friend and you're being super negative on Facebook, I'm sorry, I'm going to hide you.
Yeah.
And depending on...
There is that option
Yeah.
to unfollow people.
Yeah.
You can still be friends with them, but unfollow. And that's a very good boundary to set. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you should feel bad about that at all.
I do. I said I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry for not allowing negativity in my life. I can't. And I'm a very sensitive person to outside stimulus. And I think a lot of people are and don't realize it. They don't realize how all of these things are affecting them.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Watch what you're taking in.
So tell me about your books here.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share some of the things by fantastic authors and a lot of people that I work with that live all over, not just all over the U.S., but throughout the world too. So I mentioned earlier, that I have a specialization now in therapeutic humor. So that came from the Humor Academy.
Sorry.
Ha
I had to laugh.
I know, Humor Academy. But it's a wonderful program, and it takes 3 years to complete.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like a master's degree.
Right?
Are you a doctor?
No.
Because I keep wanting to call you Dr. Megan.
That's on my to-do list.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Another thing.
Getting a doctorate's on my to-do list.
think my husband still dreads that. He's like, oh.
But he knows it's inevitable.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
When I put my mind to something, I
Yeah.
kind of do it. But anyway, so there's the Humor Academy through the AATH, which is the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor. And I like to tell people it's a, group of people like Patch Adams. If you've ever heard of
I
Patch
love that
Adams,
movie,
yes.
yeah.
Or seen the movie, Robin Williams did a fantastic job playing that character. So Patch Adams, if you don't know, I mean, he went back to med school later in life and found a lot of healing power just by cracking little jokes, being funny, putting a red nose on, making kids laugh in the oncology department. I mean, it was,
love it.
Yeah, so it's a lot of, so the ATH is a lot of people, like I said, from around the world that are doctors, oncologists, a lot of the cancer, healthcare system, nurses. There's a lot of therapists, everyone. I mean, you name it. There's, teachers.
I think we don't laugh enough.
No.
And it just makes me happy to be around you. I'm so glad you're here. I really
Good.
am.
Good.
That's
the goal, right?
We're going to start wrapping it up. So I think we should wrap it up definitely with props involved here.
Yeah.
Oh, this one has a built-in.
Yeah. And these are my favorite.
really-
Also a dollar store find.
There we go. Now okay.
Yeah. But hey, check out this book. This is a good one. It's a good one. It's one of my more widely used.
The Fart Dictionary. Nice. This is awesome, people.
Another good one. Lead with
what is this?
levity.
Lead with levity. Abraham Lincoln.
There's a lot of grief and loss books too. Alan Klein did a great job with a lot of his books. Learn to laugh when you're crying, and
I love it all.
You Can't Ruin My Day.
I'm
all
gonna have
kinds
to
of
go
stuff.
through these and write down some titles before
Yeah.
you leave. So let's end our show. We always end our show with a quote, and Megan has a great quote. We don't know who said it.
No, I can't figure it out. I've been looking for years. I heard it a long time ago, and it's always stuck with me. And I actually found a canvas somewhere that has the quote on it that
It's
I
in
have
your house?
hang in my house
Yeah.
now. Yeah, because
All right.
I love it.
It's
But
a very important quote.
It is. It's if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
If
So
your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. I'm pretty sure I have that somewhere written too.
Yeah.
Dream is a
good
huge word for me.
it is. It is.
Freedom and dream have so much
Yes.
meaning to me. They encapsulate so much of what I do and so much of what I've built my business on, what I've built my persona on, my public persona. Oh, so important to me. And you'll see that all over my studio and all over everything that I touch. So anyway, so we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for coming.
Thank
So
you
glad
for
that you're
inviting
here
me.
today.
This is great.
And we will see you next time on the Freedom Dreamer Live.
Thank you.
Thank you.